Samara city, so probably it's time to say good night or good afternoon to some of you. So I would like to tell you good evening from Samara city, from the historical city center of Samara. So today we are going to have an excursion around the historical city center of Samara city, and today we have a great team of volunteers. So as you still remember, my name is Lada and I will be one of your guides today. Also Anastasia, she also will be your guide for today. Simon will be the director of our stream, and also Pascal, he will help us to answer your questions probably, and also will help us during this excursion. So let's go. I think it's time to start. So first of all, I would like to tell you that now we are standing on the Revolution Square. This is our first point of today's excursion. So Revolution Square, as you may know, that in 1917 there was a revolution in the Russian Empire, so this was the reason why the Russian Empire was destroyed and USSR was developed. So on the back side, behind me, you can see the monument of Vladimir Lenin. As you may know, Vladimir Lenin, he was one of the great revolutionaries, so that's why you can find plenty of monuments in various cities, in various Russian cities. So Revolution Square appeared in 1782 when Catherine the Great, the Empress of Russia, ruled the country. Initially, on the side of the square in 18th century, there were just a meadow and a lake. So then some kind of wooden shops began to be built on this place in order to create a market square. After Samara became a province, it was like in 19th century, the square acquired public significance. So it became the center of the city and the main entrance to the city. And as I said before, we're standing in the historical city center, so that's why in the previous time, during the Soviet Union time and even Russian Empire time, this square was like the middle, the center of the city. So in 1917, when the revolution began, workers' rallies began to take place on this square. And so, for instance, Valerian Kuybyshev, as you know, our city was named by him during the Soviet time. And other revolutionaries, they performed here in this square. So, and actually, before the Soviet Union time, obviously there was no monument of Vladimir Lenin. Previously, there was a monument of Alexander II, the Russian emperor. But due to significant times, unfortunately, this monument was destroyed and the new one appeared on the square. So let's talk about building along the square. Previously, the best grocery store in Samara was located on the first floor on one of those buildings. And also there was a district court in which the young Vladimir Lenin served as an assistant lawyer. And still we have two buildings of law, the district and the regional one. So they are still situated in regional courts. And also there is a high school gymnasium number 3, some kind of cafes, art spaces, pharmacies, shops, and so on and so on. So now we will continue our excursion, and unfortunately we will leave the Revolution Square, and now I will okay, so now I guess that you can watch the video about the Revolution Square, and you can find some great views from the sky. As you know, the shape of the square is circle. So, and near the square there is a road. Yes, there is the street. So yes, if you will have a look, actually, if you will just zoom out the map of Samara city, you will find that the historical part of the city is similar like the head of the eagle. And Revolution Square, because of the shape of the circle, you will find out that it looks definitely like eye. It definitely looks like eye. And because of the shape of the historical city center, because you know that there is the cross of the Volga River and Samara River. It looks similar, like the head of the eagle or the bird.
So, as you can see, the view was gorgeous and it was amazing. So, like, I saw only one comment from the YouTube, and it's really pity because, like, just come on, go ahead and write something, like whatever you want. It might be also really interesting to read your questions, and it might be really pleasure for me and like for all our team to answer on them. So I saw one comment, and it was about the sunshine. As you know, Samara is located near the river Volga, like not the real near, it's located on the river Volga. And we have, like every summer, we have really gorgeous and amazing sunsets, because like also if you are walking around the embankment, or also if you walk near to the historical part of the Samara where our friends are, it might be really interesting to see and enjoy the beautiful view of the sunset. And also we have really beautiful sea on the sunrise, but not for about, let's talk about the gorgeous view. So I hope that you are enjoy the square, the Revolution Square. Also, right now, let's move on and give a word to our friends and like enjoy. So that was like the clickbait. Sorry for that. I also saw another comment about the sun, that the sun is really gorgeous and amazing, and yep, that's amazing, because like as for me personally, I prefer, like, write down in the comment, what do you prefer, sunrise or the sunset? Because as for me personally, I prefer sunsets, because like I am kind of the night person who enjoy walking and do some stuff during the evening and even the night, and I see really gorgeous and amazing sunsets from my home, because I also live nearby the embankment, and it's really amazing. Actually, if you live nearby the Volga, nearby like any water, like river, seas, or even oceans, it's really amazing, and you can take a lot of pictures from the sunset, sunrise. Actually, for me, it inspired to like create some artworks, like pictures, or even like take beautiful photos. So please just go ahead, don't be shy, and write down in the comment what inspires you to do like the creative stuff and like so on. So maybe while we're waiting for our friends, let's just move on and talk about the gorgeous time. But right now we are going to move on and give a word to our friends who are ready to give you new facts and new information. So please enjoy yourself.
Что это значит? Семен, ты мне объясняй твои знаки, я не понимаю. So, hello again from the Revolution Square and from the Samara city. So we continue our walking, and we're looking forward to visit another sightseeing of the Samara city. So now we will leave the Revolution Square, and soon we will appear on the Kuybyshev Street. And Kuybyshev Street, it is one of the main streets of Samara city. It was obviously it was the main street during the Russian Emperor time, Empire time and during the Soviet Union time as well. But due to the urbanization of the city and, you know, plenty of areas and plenty of various regions, the city started to grow fast actually, because there was a really fast period of the building, of the construction of plenty of buildings probably in 1970s during the Soviet Union time. So now the population of the city is more than 1 million people. And that's why this is only the historical city center. So the population of this area, of the historical city area, is like, I guess, less than 30,000 people. So yes, that's it. So now we appeared on the Kuybyshev Street. Kuybyshev Street. It starts near the Khlebnaya Square and ends near the Drama Theater. So, and let us introduce you the story of the main street of Samara city. There are many well preserved and nice looking buildings of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. For more than a century, it has been the main street of this historical part of Samara, as we mentioned before actually. So where various shops, restaurants and cultural places were located. In the 1810s, the street was the border of the city and was on the west side, while on the east there was just an open field. By 1840, the street was already called Khlebnaya, so interpretation is Bread Street. Since the 1860s, the street has received a well-known name, Dvoryanskaya. Interpretation or translation is Noble Street. So, and since then, it has become the central street of the Samara city. On February 28, in 1935, the street was named Kuybyshev Street after Valerian Kuybyshev, who was a politician who lived in Samara in 1917-1920. Interesting fact that during the Great Patriotic War, Kuybyshev Street, the corps of foreign journalists, the service of the People's Commissariat or Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the representative office of the French Committee for National Liberation were located on the Grand Hotel. Kuybyshev Street still plays a great role in the old parts of Samara city. Public transport, bars, shops, post office, cafes, pharmacies, schools, institutes, park, courts, as we told before, they are all located only in one street. Even if merchants and noblemen do not live here anymore, there is a real life, active life in the full swing. And also, actually, in FIFA World Cup 2018, times Kuybyshev Street was probably the most visited place. It was fans from other streets and pedestrians could walk around the street and enjoy summer vibes of freedom and fun here. So this atmosphere of celebration was in the air everywhere, and this street was the heart of all celebrations. So we are coming closer to the next street, and now you're able to see the red brick house, and you can find that there are letters on the walls. In Russian, it's biblioteka. In English, it is library. So yes, nowadays in these buildings there is a library. And actually, previously it was the house of the merchant Christensen, the Danish merchant Christensen. And on the right side of this building, there is a gray building, yes, I think you can see it. This is the building of the Soviet Savings Bank and the Samara Sberbank. Sberbank is the of Russia. They are all located in that building. So we are coming closer and closer to the crossing of Leningradskaya Street and Kuybachev Street. And as you may know, Lenin, as we told you before actually, he was one of the revolutionaries, yes? So that's why we have plenty of monuments, buildings, streets, squares, according to him, named by his personality. So now you can see that there is a trolley bus, number 6. It goes from the suburbs to the Samara's railway station. And we are coming closer and closer to the main building of the post office of Samara city. The main building of the post office. So yes, we are coming closer to the crossing. So now you can see some kind of pharmacies, shops, restaurants, and actually it's like 7:20 in the evening of Samara time. So that's why there are crowds on the streets and people like to spend their time, summertime, in the historical city center. So yes, this is the view of the Leningradskaya Street, and if we will turn to the right side, we could see the main building of the post office, yes? Here you can send envelopes, parcels, business letters, and so on and so forth, to different parts of the world. And the building, actually, it was renovated several years ago, like 7 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so that's why it looks like a new one. But actually, it was built in the end of the 19th century. So you can find that there is details typical for Art Nouveau style. So it can be seen in the sculptural bas-relief above the main entrance, yes. And as a decorative element, there is a globe. So we will zoom it. You can see that there is a globe symbolizing the earth. And the style of architecture of post office is social realism, actually. So in the 1960s, according to the project of architecture Pemov, deep glazed windows were added to the main facets of the main post office. And now you can find that there are different shape of windows, yes. There is the huge ones on the corner and little ones on the another facet of the building. So for instance, if we will go down the street, yes, now you will be able to see, we will see the Volga River. And if we will go just down like for 7 or 10 minutes, we will reach the embankment, the first stage of the embankment of Samara city, and we will see different monuments, fountains, and so on and so forth. But you will be able to see all of those sightseeings later during our cultural program to the Leningradskaya Street on Friday. So now we will continue our stream, and I will give the time to our studio to probably answer your questions and tell some facts, probably. So see you soon. Bye bye.
So right now, as you can see, I hope that you also enjoy this view. So this was the Leningradskaya Street from the sky, from the bird flow, and it's really, as I said, I will never stop saying this about our Samara, that this is gorgeous, that this is amazing, and it's really perfect and it's really beautiful. So we have the question from the YouTube. So how long does it take from the university, for time and for the kilometers, and also on what transport you can get through the university to the through the Revolution Square. So actually, I think that from the university, without the without the traffic jam, it takes about like 20 or 25 minutes. As I earlier mentioned, that it's not with traffic jams, and like you probably can get it through the trolley or trolley bus, or like the bus also. Actually, you can easily just go and enjoy the view. So actually, the really interesting fact also that the third transport in the Samara was the trolley bus. It was even in the 19th century, like the old trolley bus was going through the whole city from the one end to another. Well, actually, right now we have such roads, but right now Samara is getting bigger and bigger, and like this is it's become really quite difficult to get easily from the one part to another, because like probably you need to sit from the one transport to another transport, even to the train. We have like the electronical train, it calls električka. And like also we have a metro, but the metro line is really short, and it's personally my opinion, it's not really like comfortable, and it's not really just, you know, it's not really good to transport, because it's also like always the problem with the timetables, a lot of people, and as I said earlier, it's really short line, short like the puncts where the metro stay. So actually I'm really waiting for your new questions, because it's really amazing, because we are just like chit-chatting with each other. And also, I really remember interesting facts that we have, Russia is really large country, and we have a lot of cities, a lot of towns, which are just like located really far away from each other. And so, like for example, from Samara to Moscow, you can easily travel by the train or by a plane. And like also we have like the largest railway station in the Moscow. It's like 101 kilometers, and this is the largest as I said, this is the largest railway station in the Europe. And also the really interesting fact to mention that from the Moscow you can really easily travel to any city that you want, even to the Vladivostok. You can travel here by train, and you don't need to change any transport. You can just buy a ticket, sit and relax and enjoy like the really long trip to the Vladivostok, because as I know, it probably takes like the 1 week or something like that. I'm not really sure, because I'm not kind of the traveler, you know. I prefer plane by myself, my personal opinion. So also, please just go ahead and write down, what do you prefer, trains or the planes? Also from Moscow, you can see and travel around the really wild and native person, like the wild native, sorry. And so right now I'm just ending up with my monologue, and it might be really a pleasure for me to give another really interesting thought to my friends who are ready to give you more and more interesting facts and more information about our historical part of Samara, where a lot of interesting and really historical buildings are located. So even personally, you can just relax, and you can see everything by your own eyes, and this is really amazing. So this might be really interesting, and it might be really like, you know, you can get a lot of information and you can just tell your friends about it. So please go ahead and enjoy.
So we are back here, and we will continue our excursion around the Samara city. So now we're just still standing on the crossing of the Leningradskaya Street and Kuybushев Street, but now we will continue our excursion. So let's go. A bit of traffic jam because people prefer to visit some restaurants, cafes in the evening. So now the life is really busy now. So we continue going around the Kuybushев Street. We're still here, and soon we will reach the famous Kino Triangle or movie triangle. You probably will ask why, and I will tell you. The famous movie triangle or Kino Triangle or film triangle probably. This is our next stop point actually. Every inhabitant of our city in the Soviet Union time, they knew that Kino Triangle or movie triangle on Kuybushев Street. In those days, actually, this triangle includes 3 cinema theaters: Triumph, Modern, and Художественный, or art. So the history of which dates back to actually pre-revolutionary times. So now we will go through some cafes, from some restaurants, and then we will show you Kino Triangle. And actually, this brick building on the left side, this is one of the previous buildings of this Kino Triangle. So nowadays there is a Ukrainian restaurant. If we will turn to the right side, we will see another red brick building. It was the next, and nowadays they are still, the cinema theater called Art Cinema Theater, or in Russian Художественный Cinema Theater. So there is some kind of cozy cinema theater, cinema rooms, so you will actually feel the atmosphere of the probably early or late 2000s there, yes, you know, because now the technology they went so far away from those that were in the 90s or 2000s. So we will continue. So now you will see Sberbank. This is the biggest, the largest bank of Russia, and you find that the architecture of Kuybushев Street, it's actually some kind of similar to the architecture of probably of some European cities, yes, or Russian St. Petersburg, yes. There is some similarities probably in the architecture, on the facades of the buildings, and so on. Now we are coming closer to the art museum, the main art museum of Samara city. But now you on the right side, you can still see the green building. This is actually the hotel, Bristol Zhiguli Hotel. And this hotel is really famous because in 1909, the famous Russian opera singer Fyodor Shaliapin stayed in suite number 16. And he went out onto the balcony and he just sang some songs for the audience, which crowded actually on the street. And since then, his number is still called after Fyodor Shaliapin, Russian opera singer. So now we will continue and turn to the left side, and we will see the art museum of Samara. We will see the art museum. Yes. This is Samara Regional Art Museum. This is the oldest and most prestigious museum in Samara region. This museum was built at the beginning of the 12th century. So now it's like an architectural monument of federal significance and one of the most beautiful and recognizable as well buildings in Samara, which is located in the historical heart of the city. You can find that there are some kind of palace-styled things, yes. Inside there you can find the exhibitions from Goya, Chagall, Dali, and also maybe some works of the Russian painters like Repin, or for instance even Andy Warhol exhibitions. So, after the revolution, the art collection began to grow because of works which were expropriated from private collections. And if we will come closer to the museum, you will find that there is some kind of words there. So we will come closer. In Russian, I will read it in Russian. Есть одна священная война. Это война трудящихся против эксплуататоров. In English language, it will be like there is only one holy war. The war against exploitators. So yes, this is what is said. So let's go. So now you will see a video, short video. See you soon. Не, пошли, не отключай. Нам же немножко осталось. Да. Вот я же сказал, зеленый.
So, as you can see, that was a really interesting museum. Well, actually, I was in that museum, but it was really like a lot time ago when I was a child, actually. I was kind of that short. Like we continue with our YouTube channel, and I saw two comments. So the first comment that actually no one sees a lot of teenagers on the street, and so that was actually really quite a simple answer on that, because probably a lot of teenagers right now in the summer camps, so they enjoy their the 2 weeks of the summer. The ending of the summer, and I think that they want to remember this summer 2021. And so that was really interesting comment from the YouTube, and maybe probably just a little bit of the summer camps. Like the summer camps is from the 21 days when teenagers or children enjoy their lives without the parents. They playing together, they have a lot of really interesting activities. And so our friends who are working right now, who are showing you really interesting and amazing views of our Samara. So please.
Streets of Samara city. It's a little bit noisy, yes, because it's evening time. So continue our walking. This is our actually next destination point. Yes, this is Lutheran Church. This is originally the Christian Lutheran Church of the pink side. And this is Samara Evangelical Lutheran Church of Saint George. It was originally actually built as a Roman Catholic church. Yes, it was originally built as a Roman Catholic church. But then Polish church, due to the practically completed, was handed over to the Evangelical Lutheran community, which Roman people. So, partial perception of the street, the church building stands out quite noticeable. Of architecture. The huge show you the bell tower. Yes, now you can see it, and also you can find there is a window through the nature of the overall artistic image of the structure. So the architecture is designed in the Gothic style, dating back to the German medieval basilicas. So we will go, and you still can find the Lutheran church, but actually we are coming closer to the crossing between Nekrasovskaya Street and Kubashev Street. Nekrasovskaya Street. Actually, this street is named after one of the famous Russian writers. His surname actually is Nekrasov, and pupils in school, they learn plenty of poems, books.
So we have like the really kind of the problems, but don't worry, this like fix really quick. So while they were walking around, let's just talk. I saw two comments, or even two comments, I'm sorry. So the first comment was that the Samara is quite simple as the St. Petersburg, and kind of, yes, like I totally agree with you, but it's only in our historical part, because like the modern Samara is nothing like the simple with the St. Petersburg. But the historical part, yes, because like the St. Petersburg, there are a lot of like the old buildings, like even wooden buildings, and so like in our Kubyshev and Leningradka Street, we have quite a lot of such buildings. And another comment that the museum was amazing. Yes, I also totally agree with you. And like right now it's like the coronavirus and like bad situation. But if we have the thing that it might be we can walk in, there might be a lot of really beautiful museum, a lot of like the pictures or even the sculptures. So it depends on what excursion are going in the museum at the moment. But actually I don't know exactly what it is. So let's just quite simply continue our online excursion, and for me it might be really pleasure to give a word, to give a phrase to my friends who will with pleasure tell you new facts and new information, so please relax and enjoy.
Hello there again. Hello again from the Samara city. So now we are standing next to the monument called the Brave Soldier Shweik, and now we will come a little bit closer and you will find out some details. So you can find the monument. The creation of this monument, according to the great soldier Shweik, was dedicated to the 130th anniversary of the birth of the author of the satirical novel The Adventures of the Gallant Soldier Shweik, written by Yaroslav Gashek, who lived in Samara in 1918. So the sculpture was made of bronze in life size. Shweik is depicted on a barrel At the feet of Shweik there is a figure of a dog. So Shweik sold puppies during the war. And if you will have a glance on the nose, yes, you will see that the color is totally different. It's like the gold one, the yellow one. So there is a tradition in Russia, and it seems like if you will touch the nose or the hand or the knee probably, so it means that you will be the lucky and rich and happy person. So that is why, this is the reason actually why, while plenty of monuments, not only in Samara city but in general in Russia, that is why that they have some kinds of things, of details that are looked different, because many people touched these kind of things. So yes, that's it. So now I will give the word to the studio, and then we will come back from the next point. So see you later.
So, hello again. So, we have a lot of things to discuss together. So, I would like to tell you like the kind of interesting fact. Then we have the FIFA, like the football championship. It was also played in the Samara, and for that period of time, the whole Kubyshev street was like cancelled for the cars, so like no car could even drive here, or even like the stand here, so it was only for the walking street, like the walking place. And actually, sometimes right now, when we have not the football fest, but like when we have kind of the really funny and really interesting activities, like for example, Volga Fest, as I know, for the one day, the Kuybushев street was blocked from the beginning and to the end. Also, I would like to tell you that we have really interesting video, like the professional video from Kirha, and it probably will be really pleasant for you to see this. So please just look at this beautiful, gorgeous building, Kirha. And so please tell us what do you think about this in our comment, in the comment, and it will be really pleasure for me to read and talk to you about this. So please enjoy yourself. So I hope that you enjoy this, and just let's move on and talk about other really interesting things. So as you actually probably know, the Kuybushев street, the Leningradskaya street, is located nearby the Samara embankment. We told about this beautiful place like in our previous stream. So like probably there are a lot of people right now enjoy their time lying on the sand or swimming in the Volga, but actually probably for right now it's quite cold outside. I don't know exactly, but it might be plus 29 degrees or maybe I'm not sure. Sorry. So, but I hope that people enjoy their time. But also not just swimming or even lying and taking like the sun bath, because like right now the sun is quite warm actually. So also you can take the really beautiful and gorgeous photos from the one bank of the river to take photos to another bank of the river, and so that's really amazing and gorgeous. And so also, as you can see, there are a lot of people who are just walking around to the embankment. And they enjoy also their free time. They enjoy the view of the Kuybushев street of the both side. And actually, I remember a really interesting fact that, like, do you know that on the other bank of the river we have like the camps with tent, where you can just move from the one bank to another on the the special ship. Like you cost them, you pay to the personal driver, ship driver, and it takes you from the one place to another place on another bank. And you can rent the tent, or you can just take your own tent and like move far away from the beach if you don't prefer a lot of people, because probably also at the beginning of the June, I think, and also the whole period of the August, there are a lot of people who enjoy tent, like camping, and so on. So as I said, you can just, like where you stopped, you can just make your own camp with your tent, like the fire camps, your own kind of the kitchen, camp kitchen. Or you can just move far away to the forest, but you might be really, it might be really dangerous because there are kind of a lot of wild animals, such as I know, we have even wolves to the another bank of the Volga River, and we have a lot of annoying insects like mosquitoes, flies, and like etc. But for person, it probably not any problems. Because like the risky person, the person who loves the nature, who loves anything that included natures, it might be really like the brilliant time for spending their free time. So 40 degrees? Oh, I'm really pity for him. Well, actually, right now, as we probably know, this is like the ending of the August, the ending of the summer, and like the autumn is coming in, like the kicking in, and so we have really like the temperatures is going down, 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 but actually not for that weekend, because like at the end of the weekend we are going to have plus 38 degrees. I don't know how we are going to survive this. So like the plus 40 degrees, like we're standing with you. So where I stopped? Oh yeah, okay. So I stopped like telling you that you can just move far away to the forest, enjoy the wild nature, taking also beautiful pictures, or even you are drawing something. This is the perfect place where you can just go to the kind of the hill, kind of the mountain, just sit and draw like the beautiful view of the nature. So like that was the kind of the monologue about the camps on the other side of the Volga River. But actually we have also kind of these camps on our side of the bank, but it's quite not that risky like the 100% of the natural camping, because on our bank we have like the wooden house which you can rent and stand like alone with your friends, your family, like the husband, wife, whatever. And so you can just enjoy the grill meat, fish meat, like whatever, like the active also sport, like the playing volleyball or basketball, and just on our bank and also on another bank, you can just relax, chill, and take the rest from the whole kind of the city problems, the city like the cars, traffic jams, are the not really quite interesting and amazing things that we have in our life, in our town. And so just you can sit back and relax in the like the special chair, drink some cocktails or like the cold water, cold ice, whatever you want, and just relax and forget about all the problems. So what am I talking? So that might be probably, let's just back to the Kuybyshев Street. Also, as we can see, Kuybyshев, as probably you remember, like the view of the Kuybyshев Street, it has a lot of old buildings, like the from I think whole centuries. Like also, as I mentioned, we have like the wooden house back to the, I don't know, 15th century, 10th century, whatever. And so it was just a little part of the Kuybyshев Street. And right now, my friends are going to show you more and more Kuybyshев Street. And I hope that you will enjoy this and like remember the gorgeous view. So enjoy.
Hello everyone, I'm Anastasia and I'm going to tell you about the next set of the main interesting things of our city. And behind me you can see Philharmonic. The modern building was built on the site of the former circus named Olymp. Olymp was built in 1907 according to the project of the Samara architect Shamansky.
The Art Nouveau building had 1,100 seats. Olymp had its own permanent concert orchestra and a buffet. Famous Russian singers, poets, artists performed here. Fyodor Shalapin, Vladimir Mayakovsky, Alexander Blok, and others. In 1917, from the stage of the Olymp Circus Theatre, Valerian Kuybyshev announced the victory of the Soviet government in Samara. In 1940, the Kuybyshev Philharmonic Hall was located in this building. Nowadays, modern performances take place here: concerts, plays, theatrical shows. Samara citizens prefer to spend their free time visiting cultural events. Then we see Leo Tolstoy Street. After the construction of the Samara railway station, Leo Tolstoy Street became one of the most important urban transport routes, connecting the station with the city center and the Volga piers. It was named after the writer Leo Tolstoy in 1908. Rails and sleepers made Samara a major transport hub, and in conjunction with the Volga they created the Russian Chicago. As we can see, there are beautiful weather outside. It is not hot, not cool, and it is awesome weather to take bath in Volga. We can see a beautiful sunset above the Volga, and now we are crossing the street, and the next stage is house of film director Eldar Ryazanov. It is museum, as we can see on the left side of the street. Soviet and Russian film director Eldar Ryazanov was born in Samara in 1927 and spent the first month and a half of his life in a communal apartment on Frunze Street, and then moved to Moscow with his mother. At different times, Ryazanov returned to his native communal apartment. He lived there during the war years, when Kuybyshev became the reserve capital of the USSR and entered the post-perestroika period, having arrived in Samara in 1995. Eldar Ryazanov passed away on November 30 in 2015, and in 2016, the film director's friends turned to the Samara administration with a proposal to create a museum. The Eldar Ryazanov Museum appeared in Samara in the spring of 2018, and now it is truly a modern exposition. By pressing the doorbell, you will hear tracks from his films, and by picking up the phone, you will hear the director's own voice. Now we are passing nearby this awesome building, and on the right side we can see one more Orthodox church. As we can observe, there are lots of Orthodox churches in our city. Yes, so there on this building we can see greetings with one of our Orthodox holidays, and one icon also above the doors. So next stage is Temple of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. At the beginning of the 20th century, the spires and towers of one of the tallest buildings in the city rose over Samara. The building was 47 meters tall. The construction lasted for 4 years and was completed. So let's move to the next step, which is House Museum of Alexei Tolstoy. Tolstoy lived in this house for only 1.5 years, from the beginning of 1900 to the summer of 1901. In this house on Saratovskaya Street in Samara his parents lived. There his friends came, and there he wrote his very first youthful works. The house remained in the memory of the writer as a house of happiness. The sculpture of Buratino was created on the basis of private donations. His long nose immediately became the most popular part of the sculpture, which everyone grabs. Urban legend says that if you make a wish while holding onto Buratino's nose, it will certainly come true. Currently, an exhibition for children is open at the Literature Museum. This exhibition is completely devoted to the adventures of Buratino. Here, little visitors and their parents can see the Italian square, the workshop of Pope Carlo, and, which is most important, guess the secret of the golden key. Now we are going to see Temple of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. We are starting to talk about this now because on the previous place we were unable to see it properly. At the beginning of the 20th century, the spires and towers of one of the tallest buildings in the city rose over Samara. The building was 47 meters tall. The construction lasted for 4 years and was completed in February of 1906. But then the revolution began, and starting from 1918, the church began to be subjected to repeated abuse and robbery. Once, in the light of the day, Komsomol activists broke in the church and destroyed the organ and icon of the Mother of God. Since 1940, a museum of local history has been located here, and stuffed bears and wild birds settled under the arcs of the temple. And at the entrance, visitors were greeted by an elk filled with sawdust. In the mid-1990s, the temple was returned to the believers. Где музей модерна? Now we are moving to Museum of Modernity. In the middle of the 19th century, this place was just a wasteland on which meadow grass grew and goats grazed. After Alexander Kurlin graduated from Moscow University, he returned to Samara and married with the daughter of Pavel Zhuravlev, a merchant of the First Guild. They say that Kurlin adored his wife so much, and the image of a graceful woman's head above the main entrance reflects the image of his beloved Sandra. They say that sometimes residents of many nearby houses gathered to admire Sandra's beauty. Ты правильно снимаешь? The Kurlins were hospitable hosts. They loved music and often hosted musical evenings for friends. In 1909, Fyodor Ivanovich Shalapin visited them. Then he came to Samara with a single concert. The Kurlins lived in this house for about 15 years. In the summer of 1918, the White Bohemian Counterintelligence Service was located in the former house of the Kurlins. In the basement, prisoners were interrogated and even executions were carried out. There still remain bullet holes in the walls of the basement. In the 1930s, a kindergarten was housed there, which in 1941 to 1943 gave way to the embassy of the Kingdom of Sweden in the Soviet Union.
Просто пожалуйста, что-нибудь говори на протяжении минуты.
So we're back. As you can see, there was like the long video of the castle. Well, actually, this video was shot when it was the winter, and like probably like January, I think, because we have a lot of snow at that period of the time. And also, like, the Samara is really like the unique town because, like, probably as you mentioned, near the high building we have like the wooden house, which are really small and low, and like also we have like the medium buildings, and it's really just like mind-blowing for the foreign people, for like the tourists, because like they are walking and like they see, oh, that's really high building, and then they just move and see the small building. So probably that's might be more facts, more beautiful view of the sunset. So that it might be really interesting for you, we hope so. So please just enjoy and like sit back, relax, and just enjoy and getting new information from our online excursion. So please.
Как раз увидим sunset. So we are ready to continue our excursion, and on the back side you can find the great sunset above the Volga River, yes? Because it's like, I guess it's 8:10 in the evening, so that's why we will be lucky ones to see the great sunset soon. So we continue our walking, and this is actually the street called Krasnoarmeyskaya. In translation, it is called Red Army Street. As you know, after the Russian Revolution, then the Russian Empire was destroyed. There started the civil war between the people who supported Russian Empire and those who supported the Red Army, the Soviet Union Army. So that's why the civil war was from 1917 till 1923. So there was approximately 7 years of civil war in Russia. Obviously that the Red Army won in that war, and fortunately or fortunately, we still don't know. Some people they support Soviet Union time, some people not. So it was the starting point from the Soviet Union time. So now you can see the great view of various buildings. Yes, you can find the red sunset. You can find that this shape of sun is really like circle. Yes, it's absolutely spectacular view. So now we are coming closer. We are coming back to the Kuybachev Street actually, and then we will continue our walking around not the Volga River but around the Strukovsky Garden and Drama Theater. During the city tour you have already seen Drama Theater, but we will come a little bit closer and we will be able to see the absolutely breathtaking sunset. So now, if we will be able to find the many store building. It's like at least, I guess, 7 stages, 7 levels. Previously it was Profsoyuz building, or it was like the house of workers, something about that, during the Soviet Union time, obviously. And in front of you can find some kind of shops and restaurants, Georgian restaurants and Pan-Asian restaurants. And now we will cross the street because it's the green light, and we will continue our tour, our walking tour. So if we will have a look on the left side, we can see that there is a fountain and there is a Strukovsky garden. Yes, there is a fountain and there is a Strukovsky garden. And also we can see the wedding, probably day for the bride. Yes. So there is a marriage, yes. So we continue our tour and we are coming closer and closer to the final destination point. So on the left side you still can see the Strukovsky garden. There is plenty of birches, plenty of trees, and inside the park, for instance, people in the morning like to have yoga, or they just can spend their time reading a book or just sitting on the bench and enjoy the view of the Volga River. It was reconstructed several years ago, so now it's like a modern place just for spending your leisure time, probably during the summertime. So we're still coming closer, and on the right side you can find plenty of great architectural buildings. So for instance, this is actually one of the buildings, if I'm not mistaken. This is one of the buildings of the State Technical University. Oh, you can find some great pictures on the windows actually. Matryoshka, balalaika, the flag. So this is the building of Samara State Technical University. You can find a symbol of Russia there, some advertisements, and so on. Look at this arc. So soon also we will be able to find the military museum. We will be able to find the military museum where there is a great exhibition about some kind of guns, shootings. There is a great exhibit of probably military equipment, of various pictures of military equipment such as tanks, military cars, and so on and so on. So now I will be pleased to introduce you our volunteer Pascal, and I will give a chance to tell him some interesting facts about Strukovsky Garden that we have already seen on the left side. So Pascal, I wish you good luck. It's time to talk about Strukovsky Garden.
Подвидишь, что ли?
Говори, Паскаль, начинай. У меня же телефона нету. Встань. Молчи, встань.
Поехали.
Мне кажется, слышится было хорошо.
Strukovsky Garden, it's the oldest garden in the city of Samara. So it's my pleasure to tell you guys today about this garden. Strukovsky Garden is the oldest park in the city. Earlier, on the territory adjacent to the Volga embankment, there was a forest that belonged to Grigory Nikhonorovich Strukov, who built an estate here and laid out a garden. Since that time, Strukovsky Garden has become the venue for many celebrations. Here we met the distinguished guests of the city. In the city, we organized mass festivities on the days of big holidays. In the garden was built a large number of structures: a bowling alley, 3 pavilions, a summer stage, a summer bioscope, which is a cinema, was built in 1908. In 1936, the Strukovsky Garden was renamed into the M. Gorky Park of Culture and Leisure. The garden was reconstructed, a children's swimming pool, chaika, an indoor summer cinema, and a concert hall were built. Now, Strukovsky Garden has its original name. The park is a traditional venue for annual city-wide events. So dear friends, I just came to Samara not so long, 3 years ago. It's a very, very beautiful garden, as you can see. Beautiful people, beautiful streets, green leaves everywhere. It's so beautiful. I think if you come here, you are gonna like to stay in this place. I usually come here at least once every summer to spend good time with my friends, because it's very, very, very beautiful, and there's a lot of fresh air in this garden. Not only Strukovsky Garden, in Samara especially, there are lots of other gardens which are also very beautiful and interesting to spend good summer time with loved ones and friends. So I'm inviting you guys to come and spend a great time here. Okay, we're going to talk about Чапаев Square.
Вот, 29, читай.
Vasily Chapayev Square, also known as the Samara Academic Drama Theatre, was named after Gorky residents of Samara, called the beginning of the Theatre of Drama, Teremak, and Gingerbread House. Indeed, The somewhat fabulous appearance of the theatre seems to have been created to distract people from the daily hustle and bustle and tune into the cultural recreation. The Drama Theatre in Samara was opened in 1851. A very beautiful location has been successfully chosen for the construction of the theatre on the high river bank of the Volga, right next to the Structure School Garden. From this place, a unique panorama of the Volga and the Zhinkovsky Mountains are open. You can see the soldiers rightly carved on the sculpture. Very interesting. It talks a lot about the history, most especially the Samaran people. I love this city so much because from these monuments you could get inspired as a person. Personally, me, each time I see this, I get inspired. It tells you a lot about the history, the struggle, the war, and a hope for a better future, as I can say it. And here it's also very beautiful because it's not only about the monuments, but also around you can see very, very beautiful flowers, the decorations around it give you that emotion of the times which the people are trying to create in the mind. You can also look at the opposite side. It's a beautiful
Drama theater.
it's a very beautiful drama theater. I've been here once, I think once, yeah. So it's very, very beautiful and interesting, especially in the winter. As you can see, it was made in 1888. So it's a very long time ago.
Теперь пойдем смотреть закат, скажи.
Это там под...
Там бункер Сталина.
Можно подсказать?
Скажи, мы идем смотреть закат теперь.
Now we're going to look at the sunset. The twilight is so beautiful. It takes actually a very longer time in Russia. I, for one, my country, the twilight is about 5 o'clock, but in Russia, in summer till 8, you can still find twilight, and it's a very interesting phenomenon because it happens only in temperate countries. Like in Samara, you can see now it's about 9 p.m. local time, and it's still twilight. It gives you a lot of time to spend with friends. Even you can sleep out late because it's still very, 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 very clear, bright, and inspirational. So we're taking a look at the twilight from this theater. As you can see, it's very beautiful scenery. Very beautiful scenery. You can see children still playing. It's about 9 p.m. I can say, almost 9 p.m. local time. It's interesting. Gives you the possibility to spend longer hours of sunlight. As you can see, the sun is really almost about the horizons, or maybe in a few hours it's gonna be dark, but so thank you guys very much for joining us today. It was my pleasure showing you guys the theater and the garden.
Сейчас в кадр встанешь, когда будешь на закате, ладно? Прощайся, прощайся потихоньку. Говори спасибо, спасибо.
So thank you guys very much for joining us. We are all open to answer your questions and clarify your doubts. If you have any questions concerning the city,
Возьми его в кадр
you
заката и попрощайтесь.
you can ask. So this
So that was like the beautiful ending for our today online excursion to the background from the place where my friends are. You probably could see the beautiful sunset, and so on this really good point we right now are going to tell you goodbye. Really great thank you for enjoying this video, for being with us for today, and so we hope that you enjoy it, and please just continue watching our online streams. We hope that you get a lot of new interesting information and facts. You learn more about Samara. So thank you very much. See you soon and goodbye.